Hi, Mom.
Hey, Megan.
Welcome
Chapter
back.
20. Oh, go ahead.
Zane, welcome back. Chapter
Yes.
23,
The Tao Te Ching.
Sacred Soul Mornings. We're here talking about the Tao Te Ching because we like this book
Yeah.
right now, and we're going through every chapter. Someday we may do another book, but we're still in chapter 23 of the Tao.
And we pull in other books while we're doing this and other thoughts.
Yeah, and the Bible even.
It's right here. Mine too.
Okay.
Did you want to read yours? And then
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah, man, I tell you what.
Because mine's are pretty simple.
Yeah, and then mine was not. Mine got dark. And I
She
was
read it to me a
that's
few
the
minutes
place I
ago.
did today. My own job. Okay. Oh, I was not in the Tao today, I don't think. And I think that's what led me to not be in harmony. Okay.
Okay, so here we go.
Yeah.
Practicing.
It says to flow with the Tao. Okay, so what does it mean to flow with the Tao? What does it mean to flow with the way, the energy of all things, inside and outside us, right? The Tao of nature is sparing with words. A whirlwind doesn't last all morning, a cloudburst doesn't last all day. So it's talking about like the worthlessness of words.
Hmm.
How they come and go. Absolutely true. If these things of heaven and earth do not last, what then of man? To flow with the Tao is to be part of the Tao. To possess inner power is to be part of the power. To suffer failure is to be part of the failure. Those who are part of the Tao takes to itself gladly. Those who are part of the power takes in gladly. It sounds a whole lot like of the world and in the world and stuff in the Bible. Anyway, failure receives gladly. Lack of trust creates lack of trust. So this is just further instruction on how to be in the Tao, how to be in harmony with the energies within and around us.
Hmm. And so then that has to do with, I know my translation talked about opposites again. And I don't know if I really want to read all that. It's not a lot. Um, yeah. I know that mine says this is a path of few words, and silence is the natural way of life. I know that one translation I read said, speak, but then be quiet. And I kind of thought, well, I like that a little bit. I haven't read that kind of stuff in the Tao Te Ching a lot. That yes, it's okay to speak, but then be quiet. And I suppose that means in that listen. But anyway, strong winds arise and pass away. So that and what this is referring to are like struggles or like failures or like losses. They come, but then they go away. And that's what I read about.
Yeah.
So why then so much concern over what to do and what to say and talking about expectations? And so one of the things I read was success or insight is another word, and failure or loss are seen as a part of a seamless, joyful whole. And we have talked about that before, about the yin and yang and about that it takes it all. And so I know that if and the another thought concerning that is if you open yourself to insight, you are at one with insight and you can use it completely. Also, if you open yourself to loss, are at one with loss and you can accept it completely. So,
Mm.
according to the way, the Tao, it all works together and it comes and goes and ebbs and flows, like we've talked about before.
And we are not separate.
And we're not separate from it. And so we want to go with flow.
And we
I know
want, yeah, to realize that we are just a little cloudburst too. Just like our words are just a little cloudburst or a little whirlwind. We ourselves, our flesh bodies, are just little cloudbursts too.
yeah,
You know, we're just a little vapor. And it's okay.
and it's okay. It's the way it is. I know one of the questions that the person that translated my book, which was, I'm going to say it again, William Martin. But anyway, and one of the questions he said about the success or insight and the failure or loss is, what do you see in yourself as a result of your conditioning, that's our humanness, what do you see in yourself in your conditioning when you succeed? I know when I read that question, I thought, okay, what is if I feel like I have succeeded in something according to my conditioned mind, what do I see in myself? And I see pride and joy and jumping up and down if I've succeeded in something. I don't know. That was the first thoughts that I think of passing when I was taking college classes, passing, getting the highest grade in a chemistry test.
Yeah.
And I did. The professor called me and I was jumping up and down and I was so happy and prideful
Our conditioning. Okay.
because of conditioning. And then what do you see in yourself as a result of your conditioning when you fail? And that was a completely
Hmm.
opposite thought in my mind, which is, oh, if I see myself as a failure in something or as a loss of something, I feel worthless.
No one likes you.
And no, yeah, and that I'm a fake or
Yeah,
whatever.
yeah, but I don't think it even has anything to do with the fact that if you were by yourself and there was nobody else, like if you're by yourself on an island, I don't know if I
Oh,
would even ever feel failure necessarily. I would just, like what, okay,
maybe
like
not, maybe
I just had
not.
that thought because I always feel like nobody likes me or somebody's going to think I'm a fraud or like you said. But if you were like on Castaway, right? And you and Wilson the volleyball were there. And yeah,
Yeah.
maybe you messed up totally on your raft, but I don't know if I would have that sense of failure feeling internally if nobody was observing it. I would just be like, ugh, it broke.
Yeah.
I'd be frustrated, and then it would pass, and I'd have to build my raft again, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yep.
Interesting thoughts.
Yep. I know. Well, and that leads me to something else that I wrote. Um, with words in our minds, we worry about how we think things should be. As a result, we miss out on appreciating what is, the moment, be in the moment.
Oh my goodness.
And I think about expectations that we put on ourselves from what we think other people think.
It's the
It's,
word problem.
yeah.
It's the word problem, isn't it? Isn't all this coming down to being the problem? Is that the words? Man, then what do
Mhm.
I do with myself? That's why I said I got smacked in the face with this today. Because
Mhm.
because I put myself in this situation as an advisor, as a coach, as a teacher, as a whatever. Um, Not necessarily spiritually, but about words. Holy cow, about communication. And here are like all these people, the River Master, Magister Liu, Doivendak, I don't know how to pronounce that, or like all saying the words are the problem. But
Mhm.
you did say speak and then be quiet, but it's saying, words don't last. The Taoist utters few words. It doesn't engage in a deliberate quest for inner power, only for the Tao. And then they even say that words are a form of violence that does not endure. It
Mhm.
really, boy, it makes you question many things today. Because it's easy for me to go down a step. I'm a specialist. And in order to be a specialist, what do I have to do? I have to talk about how I'm so special.
That's not true. That's not true.
It is true. No, I do help people. I know that. But I mean, I'm just at a base level. We probably should be more like the crows. On the road this morning. I saw my crows. Well, I guess they're ravens because they're pretty big. And they're out there just eating their snacks. Roadkill. I don't know.
With the other little birds that are
I
around
guess,
them.
I guess what they're saying here is that we are just as temporary as everything else. And the difference between us and maybe some other creatures is that we have formed the words, and the words are kind of what causes us some problems,
Mhm.
which concepts of
Mhm.
words, ideas, not being in flow, being
Mhm.
separate of the animals.
Mhm.
Mm.
Mhm.
Yeah. Mm. Yeah, because it says in here, if cloudbursts don't last, whirlwinds don't last, if these things of heaven and earth do not last, what then of man?
Mhm.
Same
Mhm.
thing. So to flow with it, we've got to be part of it. That's it. I don't know. It just hit me pretty deep today again.
Mhm.
And then something you said, and then I was reading this too, those who take part those who are part of the power takes in gladly. Those who are part of failure, failure receives gladly. Um, when you're thinking of things that are kind of like, I don't know, Abraham Hicks stuff or something that are kind of like the power of attraction type things, like the secret power of attraction or like attracts like,
Mhm.
that little ending here, it kind of alludes to that, you know. If you put your mind on that, those who are part of the failure, failure receives gladly. I don't know, maybe I'm reading that wrong. Just makes you wonder.
Mm. What you focus on.
And we were talking about being on an island versus not and feeling failure. You're
Hmm.
on an island, there's no words because there's no people to compare to.
And nobody's having expectations of you or that you're thinking about what are they expect of me.
Don't partake in it,
Yeah.
in the feelings of failure and not being enough. If I took one of my clients, maybe one of them that struggles with communication for whatever reason, maybe because of autism, maybe they're nonverbal, maybe they had a brain injury, and I stuck them on an island and they never met anybody else. They're feral, feral children, right? Grew up that way. Would they feel like they weren't good enough?
Mm. It's interesting, isn't it?
No, they wouldn't.
Yeah. They
That's
wouldn't
the
be thinking
answer.
about.
So when this guy in the end of this chapter wrote, he said, you know, what would my day look like if I was in flow of the Tao, right? And he wrote in there, I read this to you earlier. I busy myself in my garden hoeing, cultivating, planting, or tending. I rejoice in my books, am soothed by the music of my lute. In the winter, I warm myself in the sun. In the summer, I bathe in the brook. I have received little enough reward for my labor, but my mind has enjoyed a constant leisure. In this way, content with heaven and accepting my lot, I have lived out the years of my life.
Hmm.
That's it.
Yeah.
As simple as that. Just
And
live it.
we sure don't live that way,
We
you
don't.
know. And it's kind of, and if I think of myself, if I try to carve out a period of time like that, it's very hard to do.
We're so far away from that kind of primal connection to the earth, which is okay. We can
Mhm.
carve it out in other ways, but it is
Yeah.
harder for us to recognize the seasons and the growth cycle and to be involved in something manual.
Well, and it makes me think of, we've talked about in times past that when you get lost in something, like, I don't know, like you do art, I don't know, I know I've said this to you before,
Somewhere in years past.
and and me, if I've been out in my yard and I was thinking about the garden and I've been pulling weeds or cutting branches off the fence or whatever, and kind of my mind kind of gets peaceful a little bit sometimes. And it's like, oh, that was kind of nice. And so I want that, I think, is a glimpse of the way,
I agree with you.
a glimpse of the flow. And then to earlier today, I mentioned to you that because our conversations, some of them are about things going on around us in our country and our families. And then I had a friend just pass away a week ago, a week or so ago, that is part of this group that is a fitness class.
Yeah.
And it's a fitness class that involves aerobic and weights, and we have music, and it's music of my generation. And a lot of the ladies are around my age. And so today, on the spur of the moment, I decided I would go to that class instead of my yoga class today. And I mentioned to you when we talked on the phone a little bit after my class that I felt I was so glad that I went because I think I felt that it was almost kind of spiritual in a way,
Pulling.
a pulling and that commonness. You read something just a few minutes ago about, about if you're not the not the failure, but the other,
Oh,
whatever word.
power.
Yeah, the
We,
power.
yeah, like attracts like type idea. And lately I've been really diving into that with myself. Not this morning. This morning I got right back into I am a business owner. I am getting new clients. I don't know what happened, but I
Hmm.
just, hit the ground running and then felt that in my body, the icky that comes with it.
Which is
It's not necessarily the busyness, it's just not being grounded in your decisions. But I've been using the word harmony versus disharmony a lot because it's the only word that seems to really work with this. Because when you have tuning forks, right, or something, and you smack them and they go together, they're in harmony, right? They feel good. It feels good. It's okay. If you
Mhm.
have, or if you're a band director of little sixth graders, I had to listen to them the other day. If you got one trumpet having a fit over there who's a little too flat, they're not in harmony. It doesn't feel good. And everyone goes, even your eyes, like, even though you're the mom, they're like, oh, okay, well, it just doesn't feel good. And so we do. Nah, it wasn't him. He was just scared. I don't think he played anything. I think he just blew or not. We didn't know. But
We know
anyway,
about that because we were in band too. We know how.
my band director said, Megan, don't play. Just pretend. Because I was so out of harmony. I'm
Not every time, but sometimes.
playing competitions. And we won, and I'm so happy, but I didn't participate in the playing. I couldn't do the feet and the playing. Anyway, um,
Okay.
that's bad.
It's
Being in
honest.
harmony, we get so confused. We get so confused. It's such a simple concept. It's so simple. Like even in my own marriage, like this, like it's easy with marriages or like with children. Like when you're in an intimate relationship where you're near someone all the time, like little children are, or a husband or something, they're in your immediate circle, right? Without even going through all the whys, if you're in harmony or not.
It's true. It's true.
You know it. And that's pretty, I mean, I'm probably going to make them sick, but I say that all the time. I'm like, I don't know what's up. I don't care what you tell me. Something's up. We're not in harmony. And the rest of it's garbage. The rest of it doesn't matter.
Mhm,
And so
mhm,
when we decide our relationships and who is in our inner circle versus our outer circles of intimacy,
mhm,
it needs to
mhm,
be based on harmonic resonance, probably about being in tune. And if you're not, it doesn't matter what your label is. It doesn't
mhm,
matter whether it's husband, wife, boss, mom, dad.
mhm,
You're not in harmony.
mhm,
Gosh, we're so ridiculous. We could have exactly what we wanted right in front of our faces and then
mhm,
go, oh, I can't do it.
mhm.
Or the opposite. We could be so miserable.
Yeah.
Still be like, I just don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. I just don't know what's wrong with us. I don't know. And go to counseling for forever when the problem is you're not in harmony. Why are you not in harmony? I don't know. But
Mhm.
it's like simple. So simple.
Yeah.
Take the words away. Because one probably is when we're not in harmony with something, it's because something is not something is hidden. Like I even think with my children when they were little and we weren't in harmony, especially with one of them more than
Mhm,
another, it's not the same now, but it was because he was hiding
mhm,
stuff that he couldn't express.
mhm. Yeah.
Same with adults.
Mhm.
That's it.
Maybe even dogs.
I'm not sure he's hiding anything. Let me
No, he's not hiding anything, but
Am I
he's sometimes
hiding?
he's not in
Well, I'm
harmony.
probably hiding. No, honestly, us being not in harmony together, me and my dog, I get anxious. He got his Paxil a little late today. But probably what I'm hiding is that my frequency with him, myself, I don't align with his energy level very well. But I feel
Mhm.
all kinds of negative about that because of the rules, such as I adopted this dog. I
Right.
want to take care of this dog. My children love this dog. Da, 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 da.
Mhm.
Instead of me going,
He needs a new home.
I yeah, yeah,
Mhm.
'cause it feels bad.
It's okay. You do good.
I know, but that's something to think about because if we were animals, I always go back to like if we were meerkats, but I like gorillas too. If we were all silverback gorillas,
Mhm.
if there was one that we were not getting along with, would we sit next to them
That's interesting, isn't it? It's interesting.
or
Mm.
would they push us away?
And then the expectation of, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but so would God, the universal energy or whatever, expect us to set beside somebody we can't harmonize with for our whole life?
No, because there's nothing outside judging it except
Mm.
ourselves because we're part of it.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's up. That's why it's scary, and that's why people don't like it, because then all of a sudden that next leap is who's responsible? Oh no, it's me.
Mhm.
Because then if it's you, whose fault is it? Yourself. What do you do about that? It's so much easier in some ways to run around in darkness and blindness, without
Mhm.
the light on your problems, instead of saying, oh, maybe I might be fine on my own or whatever it is.
Mhm. Mhm.
Yeah.
Well, I'm going to look at my notes again and see where we're going to go to.
Chapter 24.
Three. Well, not, oh, are we there
Oh, no,
already?
I didn't know what you're saying. No, go ahead.
No,
Tell me
I
what
wasn't saying that.
on the Bible. Do you have some Bible verses
I
maybe? I was
do. I know one of the things I wrote down is just to open ourselves up to Tao, just open ourselves up to God. And then what does that mean? Um, and so I know with me, I more easily can do that if I'm out in nature, like going for a walk, like in your little park up there. I love the
Yeah.
parks up there.
We're
And
in a
so,
yoga. You said in yoga, or like if you're in a flow, like Tai Chi, or if you're in
I'm
not
sorry, but you.
labyrinth walking, like those kind of repetitive, but not quite monotonous physical
Mhm,
activities, or that are running for some people.
yeah.
Okay, there you
Mhm.
go. That's all I meant, Mom.
But okay, so I did try to look up some things connecting with the Bible because I find comfort with that. Plus, I mean, this is, it's the world I grew up in, and it surrounds me everywhere. So I'm trying to find things with new eyes, I guess, a
Grounding
little.
is everywhere right now.
What?
Grounding is everywhere.
Yes, it is.
What in the
So,
world? Okay.
so going through that. Anyway, Paul, you know what? I want to jump down in my notes to this because I think it's kind of interesting. Jesus says, I am the way, the truth, and the life. And so then here's some thoughts. Open yourself to the way, and you can embody it completely. Open yourself to the truth, and you can express it clearly. Open yourself to the life, and minutes will disappear as moments take their place. So this person was writing about that, but connecting it to the Tao.
Oh, I love that. Minutes will disappear and moments will take their place. Oh, I love that. That is so beautiful. That nothing is, that's so clear about being present in the moments
Yeah.
and not waiting for whatever you're waiting for, happy
And,
vacations or death. Wow.
and appreciating the moments. And his name that wrote that was David Jones. I wanted to give credit to that. But anyway, and so that verse, the way, the truth, and the life, is John 14:6. But then it goes on because I thought, okay, I looked it up and read it again. And then I read more. And I thought, okay, so this is where it gets, convoluted, I guess, with the way that I was raised, and that's where it's written that Jesus is the only way, and blah blah blah. And I think that was probably added.
I don't know if it's spurious or not. Where are you at? I'm sorry, I should know this. I don't.
John 14:6.
Oh, yeah. I'm not evangelical. Mhm. I don't have that one down. Mhm.
But um and then I was reading today too, like when all this got translated and written down, and I think about and what books were left out and on purpose and what
I,
it
yeah.
mm,
The deep, here's the thing. The deeper I go in this stuff with the Bible and coming back to the Bible and being okay with it after stepping away from it and feeling mad about the spurious things and translation errors and
yeah.
all kinds of things like men wrote it and like only men, not women and all kinds of stuff. What I've found, at least for myself, if there's I don't even know if there's been any verses that I can't make peace with anymore. With new eyes because like even with this with Jesus talking about further on in chapter 14,
Mhm.
he's not talking about himself. It's deeper than that. He's
Yeah.
talking about man,
Deeper than-
like like himself and God, Oh my gosh, I'm gonna have to do a whole separate thing on that. Mhm.
Okay. Okay.
It's not him as a religious figure is the only way. He's saying
Mhm.
this is the only way. He's not saying through me as my own religion that had not yet been formed yet. The Catholic
Mhm.
Church wasn't even done until 300 years after he died. There was no religion
Mhm.
saying follow just me by myself. He's saying I am an example. You are not going to find happiness without being in line with this example, which is the same thing Lao Tzu is saying. Lao
Mhm.
Tzu was saying this is the only way. He wasn't saying I am Lao Tzu, religious fanatic, and neither
Mhm.
was Jesus. Jesus wasn't saying I am the only person named Jesus.
Mhm.
He's saying, but everything else is garbage. That is probably true. Not
Mhm.
that the book religion, but being in harmony with God and being in harmony with the Tao, which is the same thing. There's only one way to do it. And you know it when you're in it, when you know when you're not. And that's it.
And so when you get to have a little feeling of that every once in a while, it's hopeful.
And that's the proof. When
Mhm.
you get to have the feeling of it, that's the proof that is unshakable. You cannot possibly be talked out of it by thinking some other is the way because it doesn't feel right. You
Mhm.
go, no, that
Mhm.
doesn't feel right. I'm out of harmony. I'm not in the way right now. I know I'm not in the way because it feels like I'm in hell.
Mhm. Mhm.
And that's why you cannot go back. Once you know, you can't go back. It's impossible because once you're aware
Yeah.
of the dark versus the light, you just can't choose dark again. Why would you do that?
And I'm so glad that we do this because, yesterday, because of having a discussion with someone I care about a whole bunch about biblical stuff, I was really in disharmony. And it took this today and then my experience with the ladies at the fitness place
I mean,
to get a breath.
we can wallow around in it for a while and then go, oh yeah.
Yeah.
No. Mm.
Um, so look reality in the face. So that's the whole thing. Look reality in the face in all its beauty. So that's the success or the insight in all its beauty and ugliness, which is loss and failure. Delighting in the former and forgiving it for the latter. So look at the whole and forgive it for the hard parts. And then straighten ourselves up and say, hey, here I am. There you are. Or here you are. And just breathe, I guess.
Realize there's no failure of anything.
Yeah.
It's completely okay. Because we can't see the big picture because we're only one little bitty branch. We're one little bitty bitty twig on a tree.
One facet.
One teeny one.
Well, is it about time?
Time. Yeah.
Okay. Chapter 24. I'll read my title.
Okey-dokey.
Oh, look.
Mine says the Taoist realm.
The Taoist realm. Okay, that sounds big. Mine says nothing like that until we lay it down. Okay.
Okay, so we're still in this little group of things once that Lao Tzu had his little existential crisis about how many back was that, four back or something? It was.
21, I
Now
think.
we're in the part where we're not just saying what is the Tao, because that was the first part, existential crisis. And then now we're in what does this really look like?
Mm.
I would say
Okay.
this chapter was what does this really look like in daily life? And next chapter is
Mhm.
what does this really look like
Okay.
in daily life?
Okay.
Yeah,
Sounds
interesting.
good.
Okay, well, thank you, Mom, for joining me.
Thank
That was so
you.
nice. Hmm.
Yes.
This has been Sacred Soul Mornings.
There we go.
Yeah, and life is a journey, not a checklist. So enjoy the ride.
Bye, everybody, and peace.